I'm sorry. Hello, hello, hello. Can anybody hear me? Is there anybody out there? Hello, Jim. Hello, Christopher. Hello, Samuel. Don't know if you can hear me. The speakers, it should be coming through those speakers, so that's good. Jim, can you hear me? I can hear someone. Who's that I can hear? Hello, Sam. Hello, Jim. Hello, anybody? Is there anybody out there? Now, have I done something to the settings, which is distinctly possible? Can anybody hear me?
Did you on the audio?
Can you hear me, Jim?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Is your camera coming on or staying off?
Well, I thought it was on. Have you not started video?
I might have. Have I done a setting? There we go.
You turned it off. Hello.
Have I turned the video off?
Oh, I'm in.
You're in.
It might be us have got turn it off on join. I untick mute, but
Sounds like a fart.
I can't hear you. Yeah, wall, but them just loads of.
Hear me?
No, like hissing noise.
Why is there a hissing noise?
And we can hear that perfectly. That's weird. Have you got a loose connection on?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Sam, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Are we going for Sam or are we going for Samuel?
Oh, no preference, my friend. No preference.
All right. Well, then we'll see whatever comes out. I don't know why it's. I'm going to unmute you, Chris. But if you're muted for a reason, then you can mute yourself. You can mute again. It comes the Gregorian. Chris and Gemma, are your cameras off for a reason? There we go. There's Chris.
Hello.
Good evening. And now, Gemma, we get to see the results of the curlers.
I've had a shower since then. Sorry, no curls.
That's all right. Here comes Gregorian. I think something has changed. I'm constantly changing my Zoom because I'm either doing the show or I'm doing a meeting. So I have to keep changing the settings. But I don't know why you've all come in without your cameras activated. And I wonder if I've changed something there. I don't know if I might have done. I might not have done. Anyway.
What, minute 30?
Welcome to our lovely Sunday evening dinner. There's Richard. Richard, you are muted.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I've got a complex after Jeff said about my call centre earphones. I've got new ones.
Oh, look at that. I got my youngest some, I don't know what we call them, earbuds.
Oh, yeah, I've got those.
But,
the AirPods.
well, I didn't get the AirPods because the AirPods are 120 quid. So, of course, I bought cheap knockoff ones. And the first one, the charger broke after a week.
Yeah.
And then the second one, it's the most difficult system to get them to sync up with anything. But that's what you get for £25. That's what you get. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Patreon dinner. Thank you for, being supportive and being part of this nonsense. And I feel a little bit embarrassed tonight. And that's all right, I suppose. This is a weird old thing to be doing. For dinner tonight, I went and had a big lunch. I went to Wagamama's. I had a Wagamama's and I ordered shed loads. So to make up for that, I am having Spanish bean and vegetable paella veg pot. This is me going to focus now. It won't focus. This is me trying to be vegan after having a load of meat for lunch. What have you guys got? Sam, are you eating or are you?
I am indeed. I have a succulent Chinese meal.
Oh, look at that. Home cooked or delivered?
Home cooked. Well,
Oh.
it's cheating. It's one of those ones where you just stab it a bunch of times and put it in a microwave. One of those mix-up ones.
I've not even bothered to tip mine out of the pot. This is, this is what you're dealing with. I should have said as well, I've got a refreshing can of cream soda as my
the good stuff.
Drink. What are you on, Sam?
Just a Sprite.
Right, just a Sprite. Never say just a Sprite. I can see Gemma unscrewing a bottle. What have you got, Gemma?
Cream soda.
That's the proper stuff. Oh yes, yes. That's how you do it. You neck it. And now what? I guess this is lunch for you, is it, Gemma?
Yeah. It's kind of like a snack. I'm having smoked Gouda, macaroni cheese, and banana pudding. That's it.
That's it. I mean, dear God, that sounds great. Chris, are you eating or are you just watching this evening? Oh, Chris, we can't hear you for some reason. You're not muted, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Whatever you've done, stick with it.
So yes, I'm not eating. I'm just sort of sat in a slightly dazed way. I don't know. Feel tired.
Why are you dazed? Is everything all right? Is anything going on?
Yeah, just didn't sleep particularly well, and it's kind of taken the entire day to recover.
It can be like that sometimes. That's yeah, I'm sleeping really badly at the moment. And I didn't get a chance for a doze today, but hang in there with us. Richard, can I ask what is on your plate? Richard. He's buggered up his headset. Look. Richard! Hang on, let me get his attention. Let me get his attention. The only way I know how. Hang on. Richard. Richard! Richard! Can you hear me? I mean, unbelievable. Can you hear me? Richard! Right, I've got George. Get down.
Panic on his face.
Can you hear?
He's muffed his sound up.
Richard is Iain as well.
Maybe.
No, sorry, no one can hear you. Isn't technology great?
Now,
Iain.
what is going on? What the hell is going on?
You hear the words, but you sound like you're at sea.
I'm not sure if it's mine or not. Hold on.
No, I can hear you perfectly.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, again, the hiss is there.
It's a bit like listening to medium wave at 2 a.m.
I wonder why that is.
Now you perfectly. What are you doing?
I just turned it. I turned it off and I turned it on again.
Now it's making a farting noise.
Have you had a poo?
No.
Oh God.
Right. Oh. George, no. Going down. George, get out of the way, please. Right.
Isn't it? It's Amazon's own brand.
Where do you keep it? Where do they keep it?
Like Morrison's.
It's a bit odd.
Can you hear me now? I got my headphones on, so I can't. What is going on?
Whoa.
Hey, we can hear Richard.
No, Richard's gone again.
And he's gone again.
You can't hear me.
Don't worry. That's
We can
better.
hear you.
Can you? So listen, I do apologise.
But
I
you
tried to get the AirPods out. I got the AirPods out to show you what the AirPods are like, and it just blew up the entire computer.
Hang on, you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
now.
Does
No,
it sound all right?
Yeah, now well, it's out of sync, but
It's out of sync.
yeah, a bit at my end.
Is it
Doesn't
out of
matter.
sync at your end, Chris?
Yeah, I'd say there's a bit of a lag.
And is there a hiss?
So it wasn't me at all.
I think you had a big part to play.
I had a massive panic in it.
Is there a hiss coming from me?
I can hear something, and yeah, you've gone muffled again.
Don't say muffled.
Shut up.
You get banned. Is it me or everyone else? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you, Chris. I can't hear Ian though.
Yeah, Ian's pretty much silent. I think I can pick up about 1%.
I'm not laughing. Look what I've got. I'm going to use it.
I mean, technical difficulties is nothing if not on brand.
Very true.
Yeah,
Well, I hope everyone's dinner's nice.
I bet you can hear me for a second, can't you?
now we can.
And now it'll go. It'll go.
Oh,
I
is
bet- Is it gone?
No,
Yeah. Red.
Is it there or is it gone?
no, you're there.
Okay now.
But all
Oh,
I'm
well.
doing is turning the mixer off and then on again.
It's too complicated, isn't it? It's too many earphones and plug sockets, isn't it?
But why is it? I hate technology.
Yeah.
If it goes again, just let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'll be talking to myself like an absolute melt.
Oh,
Jim
yeah.
and Jenna, I'm so sorry. We didn't get to ask you. What have you got for your tea tonight?
We had a lasagna,
Courgette lasagna.
Yes, mate.
Healthy.
and now we're eating rice pudding.
Oh,
Lovely.
I haven't had a rice pudding for flipping ages.
Well, we were quite surprised. We got this off Amazon Fresh, is it called? Whatever they've renamed Prime now. And it's their own, all the stuff they sourced is called Booths, and it's really nice.
You can get grocery shopping from Amazon now.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
certain areas, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You can,
Rich
get,
would
you
be
can
able
get anything from
Yeah,
Amazon.
you'll be able to.
It can't end up well, can it, with the amount of power they've got now?
This is it. Amazon.
Nightmare.
What was that you were eating there, Gemma? Was that the banana? That looked good, man. That looked good. Amazon are going to take over the world. They're the only people. Oh, I thought of a money-making scheme for that you guys can all get involved in if you want. This is going to be a dead cert. I want to do a course, teach a course to tell people, to teach people how they can be heard when they're wearing a mask. Because I was out, say I was at Wagamama, and I just couldn't hear a word the waiter was saying. I think he was kind of quite softly spoken anyway. And then behind the mask, we couldn't hear anything. I was doing lots of, sorry, I beg your pardon. So, and I've noticed this is a problem. So I think you could legitimately charge people £10 a head, £20 a head to have a seminar on how to be heard talking while you're wearing a mask. This is the thing we need to all be doing now, is thinking of the side hustle that exploits global pandemic.
Yep.
There's got to be, there's got to be.
We can't be heard through Starbucks. They have these screens now, don't they? So you have a mask and the perspex screen, and you can't be heard through that.
No. So if anybody's got any money-making side hustles, I am prepared to put my name. And as some of you may know, I was the answer in a crossword puzzle today.
Oh yeah, very good.
I think that was that in the
Fantastic,
eye,
wasn't it?
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you. I was thrilled at that because someone sent me a picture and they'd filled in my name, and I thought, oh, they just put my name in because it's the right letters, but it was an actual clue. So,
would you prefer the one above it though, the singer-songwriter?
Yeah, I would have preferred. But that, who knows? That might lead somewhere. We just don't know who's doing that crossword puzzle. Somebody, a producer, a Spielberg,
Future sponsor.
Could be it. Could be good. So my name's got cash. It's got weight again because of the crossword.
Good.
Because of the crossword. So if any of you have got any money-making COVID schemes, I'll put my name on it for 20%.
Didn't Toby Young start like a dating website or something for non-believers of COVID? Maybe
he did, didn't he?
Something similar.
I would be terrified to start a TLNA dating website. There was, when we were at Talk, they had and they've been doing it for years. They had like a dating.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard the advert. They'd have a dating advert.
It's Encounters or something.
Yeah, it was. It was all about. What's the advert? It was about sort of. It rhymed with station, didn't it? It was all there's passion at the station, and it was all very weird. And it was the talk radio dating thing, and you'd think, dear God,
who would use it? For radio stations.
Who'd want to get involved with that? Yeah. But yeah, there was a Toby Young. He's got a website, and part of it was to find like-minded people who don't like wearing masks. If you want to date without any of those without social distancing.
I saw one website on dating. It had like a rule of 6. I thought, God, that's optimistic, isn't it? Actually, get 6 people.
Has anyone here? Listen, I remember when I was at LBC, so that would have been about 16 years ago, and internet dating was still seen as something weird and freaky. And I remember doing phone-ins, and Kath was the same where she was. Would you ever, have any of your friends ever done internet dating? Would you ever trust yourself to do it? Wouldn't that be the weirdest thing? Well, of course, now it's
the only way, isn't it?
Norm. Has anyone ever done speed dating?
No, I haven't done it.
No.
Sounds like a good laugh, though.
Don't think Jim would let me.
Say that again, Jenna.
Don't think Jim would let me.
Have you asked? Have you asked? You don't know. I wonder if that was ever real or not, because it seemed to be just a thing of TV shows. Oh, it's a speed dating episode of Fools and Horses or something.
It gets around that problem, doesn't it, of going to a bar and then you're kind of, chatting people up. You don't know if they're available or not. At least
no one has ever got a partner in a bar, have they?
Oh, God.
Jenna and Jim, if you don't mind me asking, and if it's too personal, tell me to jog on. How did you guys meet?
Well, I did just ask whether I could tell the story.
You can tell the story.
Okay. So we met in an internet chat room, Microsoft chat room.
Okay.
Called Cuckoo and Rainbow, which wasn't a dating one, it was just a chatting one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And Jenna was pretending to be somebody else.
I was like the original catfish.
Wow.
She'd stolen a very sort of Greek-looking girl's photo. And I didn't find out what Jenna actually looked like So we've been talking for about 4 months.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it's an upgrade. So I was very
you say it was a Microsoft chat room, so that would have been years ago then, would it?
Yeah, we've been married 18 years. So we've known each other about 19 and a half.
So you would have got together in the era then when it was still seen as, oh, you've met someone online. Did anyone in your family or your friends go, that's a bit weird? Because now, as I say, it's like, this is how people meet and it's great and it's wonderful. But did anyone around you go, oh, are you sure?
Yeah, my parents thought I was mad. They thought I was going to get killed when I went down to Sussex.
Isn't that funny?
So, yeah, although they're not the most tolerant people anyway. So,
yeah, you can have people know each other for 10 years to get married, and it all goes
and they get married
up within a year. Yeah, yeah.
They get married. It's funny, isn't it, how far we've come in 20 years that it's now, my kids, they're not obviously dating, they're 10 and 8, but to them, it will always have been around. It's like it's odd if you've met someone and it's not through the internet. I think these days.
What's your view in terms of? I mean, I've got 2 daughters, as you know, and God knows what they could be looking at on their phones in terms of things that. And I don't go and police it because they could always find it, but that really worries me.
Like
they can access stuff. Yeah, I mean that just
terrifying.
Isn't it just
terrifying.
The stuff that's on there? So I'm told.
It's the stuff that's on there is, I can tell you, as I've done some deep research, it's horrendous. It's and the porn now is kind of quite violent. It's quite aggressive and it's quite violent. And the fact that, when I was a teenager, you kind of, if you were tall enough and looked old enough, you could buy it or you had to find it. But now kids are carrying around access to the most terrifying stuff. I don't know. It terrifies me as a father of boys that they will think that is normal and that it will cause them kind of relationship and possibly sexual problems. It terrifies me as, friend of someone who's got girls, that it's just horrendous on both sides, that the role.
Yeah, I guess when we were younger, people thought that about the Mary Whitehouse thing, wasn't it? They probably thought that we were being led astray with TV.
Yeah, totally. But this is why I'm a big fan of sex education in school, and why, my boys have got phones. We got my 8-year-old a phone just because he was really missing me, and we thought it was a bit young, but we thought he was struggling with me not being there, so we kind of got that just to make that a bit easier. And we checked their phone. I remember the first time I checked my 10-year-old's phone. I said, one of the rules is, as you know, that I'm allowed to look at your phone anytime I want. So I'd like to look at your phone now, please. And he gave it to me, and I'm thinking, oh, please. And there was nothing on there. It was just Minecraft cheats. But it was horrendous. What a time to be alive for boys and girls. They're going to think, girls are going to think they have to behave like that. Boys are going to think that's normal. Sucks, man.
Massive worry, isn't it? Massive worry.
It sucks.
Yeah, I really worry about my nephew. My nephew Riley. He had an iPad from when he was 2. And when you used to ask him who his best friend was, he'd say iPad.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
And he comes and talks to me about the games he's playing on his Twitch and stuff, and on his tablet and whatnot. And he's playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and he's playing Roblox and some of the. He showed me his favourite one, which was basically you hit someone over the head and drag them into chuck them down a pit. And he's 8. It's horrendous. And my cousin's eldest, who's 5, 6, I think.
Yeah.
He's got a YouTube channel where he plays games with his dad, and he's playing all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's horrible. My nephew wants to play Fortnite all the
I
time.
remember my 8-year-old was talking about Roblox, and he said, "Oh, we found this really weird." And because for those who don't know, Roblox, people can make their own games on there. And he said, "We found this really weird game, and it's about basically you just go and look at pictures of a dead dog." I was like, "What?" And of course, I had to go, "Okay, well, that sounds interesting. Tell me a little bit more about this." I didn't want to go, "What the hell is this rubbish?" And the way he described it, it sounded horrific, right? Absolutely horrific. And I said, "Well, I tell you what, when we get back, why don't I have a little look at it?" and we'll have a little look. And what it was someone whose dog had died. So basically, they just set up a shrine to their dog. It's called Snowy or something. And so all it was a picture of a dog that had died. It wasn't a picture of a dead dog. And it was just like this shrine to Snowy, and it was a picture of Snowy all looking happy and with a ball in his mouth, and just like loads of candles around. So hello, Lux. This is Lucky.
Oh, she's back.
Lucky's back. You've not had your dinner because everyone else has eaten theirs. You muppet.
But then again, my kids seem to be working far harder than I ever did when they come back from school. They sort of come in, disappear, and work. I mean, I can't remember working after school to the extent they do.
No.
They seem to have a healthier attitude around, not them, but the generation around alcohol and things like that. So you hear the press. Yeah,
maybe. It'd be interesting to see. I think perhaps there is a slight difference towards alcohol, but I don't know. Has anybody? I'm looking specifically at Gemma, Chris, and Sam because you've been very quiet. But that's if you want to be quiet, that's cool. Don't think there'll be any judgment. Oh, this is my butler, Simon. Thank you, Simon.
Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
Nice haircut as well.
My butler. I've got homemade by Catherine, Bakewell tart and chocolate custard. Has anybody got any questions? Because this is weird, but I'm really, really enjoying this, right? And I didn't know if I was quite worried that no one was going to come. So it's so nice to see you. And you can all come to the lunch on Tuesday as well if you want. But I don't know if anyone's got any questions or anything you want to ask me. You don't have to, but I will answer anything.
Well, I do, but I won't ask.
Shut up, Richard.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, I'm on the spot now.
No, you're not on the spot because if you haven't, you haven't, and that's totally cool. And it's not about putting people on the spot. And I should have perhaps made that clearer in the thing. You can ask me anything you want. I don't care.
Oh no, mate, you're kind of an open book anyway. It's one of the reasons why we love you so much, man. But I don't know.
If you haven't, don't worry. Gemma, have you got anything, or Chris, have you got anything that you'd like to know?
Not really. I'm happy as a sort of spectator.
Perfect. And by the way, you don't have, if you're uncomfortable having your cameras on, you don't have to have your cameras either. I know that some people don't like having their cameras on, and it is weird. I've had so many Zoom meetings, and it's this thing of just staring at yourself on a screen is
it's just become something you do every day now, isn't it?
Yeah. And
like I hated it at first when we started working from home, but it just becomes normal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming up to 7 months that I've been working from home and doing Zoom and whereby and whatever daily, pretty much. So.
Yeah. How is work for you, Chris? Is it all right? Is it looking like it's going to carry on?
Yeah, I mean we've discussed that we probably won't return to the office, but the business that I work for is pretty resilient. So I've been there a long time and gone through recessions, and I mean it's an internet business, and I arrived there after the first sort of .com boom and bust stuff. But yeah, I mean we seem to get through them, so there's no real paranoia.
It's strange. I found out, it's my friend Simon who's staying with me for a couple of nights, that another one of our friends, and it hadn't even really occurred to me, but he works in kind of sort of ticketing in the entertainment industry, and of course he's really struggling because he ain't got nothing on. There's nothing going on. But when this all started, there was hardly anyone had heard of Zoom, and I remember there was Zoom, and there was House Party that kind of came, and then House Party got hacked, I think, didn't it? And all of the data was released. And wasn't the story, Gemma, you're nodding, so maybe you know more than me. Wasn't the story that the rumor was that Zoom had done it?
That's what people say. But I don't think so. I don't know.
See, the more I can't at the time. This is the problem with this whole thing, is I'm starting to get into the vague edges of conspiracy. I can see how someone could totally buy into I can kind of see how someone could totally buy into the Bill Gates vaccine thing. I can kind of see it because, our mental resources are being tested to the limits. But I think Zoom nobbled House Party.
I think that there might have
Be on to you.
been hacked.
Be on to you for saying that.
The hack wasn't proven, was it? So.
Oh, do you think House Party made that up?
No, I think Zoom made it up about House Party.
Oh.
So it was like negative PR
No,
instead.
Edmonds.
Oh.
No, Edmonds made it.
Yeah, no, Edmonds House Party.
It's like any app, though, isn't it? As to what the advantages are. I mean, I still use Skype all the time, and yet Zoom obviously is being preferred by people. So just the sheer numbers of people you can have. So you can invite other people on Skype and have.
Well, on Zoom, what is it?
I think up to 50, isn't it? I think on Skype.
Is it? But can you do? I don't think you can do more than one video on Skype. Can you?
In what sense? In the sense that you can see different people. Obviously, you can see everyone that's.
Can you
party to your Skype? Yeah, and then and I think it goes green every time someone talks, and you can share screens as well.
Oh,
we use Teams or we use Skype.
MS Teams, yeah.
Skype, but
what's the difference between MS Teams and Skype then? Is there much difference?
So Teams is more of a collaborative. It's like a combination of SharePoint and Skype. So you get all the video calling and everything, or voice calling, and you get all the file storing and people being able to work on stuff at the same time.
It's packaging, isn't it?
Yeah, so it makes it much easier to share a document or something and both work on it at the same time, or have a meeting to present something and then flick to another document and stuff. I was even using we were doing family quizzes with the Australian branch that we've got, using Teams, using the work team.
And Teams is free, isn't it? As long as you've got Microsoft package. Skype is free, but Zoom's not, is it? Past a certain point.
Oh, well, the only limit on Zoom isn't it the length of the call? So you get cut off after 59 minutes.
It's the length of I thought it was 40 minutes. I don't know if they've changed it, and there is a limit on the numbers. I think the limit's 100. Yeah. And then the next package it's 500, and then it's 1,000. And when we were doing the rabbit holes, we took the package that allowed us to have over 500. But I'm surprised that a few people that Skype. I'm an old man, so Skype to me is you want to make a phone call on the computer, you use Skype. And the number of people while we're doing the late night alternative, who was younger than me by about 10 years or more, who go, I've had to install Skype for this, and I don't. How does Skype work? That's blown my mind that Skype is considered old.
Yeah, it's super easy, isn't it?
Microsoft killed it, didn't they, when they bought it, and made it worse. So it used to have really good quality,
right?
And then they killed. And then if you're just doing that video calling, either you're using your iPhones and just FaceTiming, or you're using WhatsApp or Google Hangouts, or there was so many rivals came around for that one-to-one stuff.
Yeah.
There's some talk a few months ago about phasing out Skype, but again, that's Skype for Business, not Skype, and that confuses me as well.
They're getting rid of Flash in December. So how am I supposed to use websites that still use Flash? Because there's still a few websites you go to, and it says you need to activate Flash. So you have to click, click, click. But that's going to be gone in 2021. What the hell are we going to do?
They're killing it or just dropping support.
Oh, okay. That's that problem solved. Thanks, Jim.
If you Skype TLNA, you get one, obviously you guys, and then you've got Taiwan, haven't you, in Vietnam? That's not connected with your scarf incident, is it? The people who are flogging scarves off your...
It could be. It could be, actually.
Really
we'll give them, remind me, George, please go away, mate. You're not having that backward up. We're going to... we'll Skype... I'll tell you what, we'll give them a call tomorrow. Skype other TLNA. Let's give them a call tomorrow. George, will you please, my good young man. We'll do that tomorrow. By the way, I have to say I watched an excellent film today. We watched the movie of the video game Doom, starring The Rock. It was all right. I think it deserves more than a 5.2 that it gets on IMDb. I really enjoyed it.
Is that a recent Rock, or is that
it's
quite old, isn't it?
It's a 15-year-old Rock.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
He's got hair.
He's got hair in it.
Yeah.
If I can remember correctly, isn't there a sequence at the end where it is just taken from the video game? It's first person.
It is actors and it is real, but it is first person. Yeah. There's
I remember that bit.
5-minute, maybe even longer. George, please, mate. Battle where it's all first person and it's just ridiculous. But I was howling with it. I loved it. I thought it was great. George, please.
He's had a great run, isn't he, that guy? I mean, every single film he does is just fantastic, and he
We
can
are-
move between the genre.
We are now watching a film starring The Rock and Mark Wahlberg called Pain and Glory, I think, which is about some corrupt wrestlers. We were trying to find a time travel movie that we hadn't seen, but I think I've seen them all, so it's no good. George, mate, I'm trying to have my bakewell tart here, buddy.
Have you seen
How's-
the
how's
new
the-
Bill and Ted?
I have seen the new Bill and Ted. I thought it was all right. Who was that asking? Sam?
Yeah.
You've not seen it?
No. Well, no, I haven't seen it. I can't. I want to. As soon as I saw it went kind of to on demand, kind of knew the quality might not be there, but
it's all right. It's lovely seeing them back. Although, I mean, I know they're old, but for some reason, Keanu Reeves looks older than he actually is. It's very. I think it's just because his hair is so jet black that it doesn't fit in with his, nearly 60-year-old face. But I enjoyed it. It's lovely seeing those two together. I thought the girl, no spoilers, but their kids are in it. And the girl that plays Keanu Reeves' daughter, I thought was just brilliant. I thought she was hilarious. But, it's a little hollow.
He's off Netflix or
This
Sky?
is at the cinema. I saw it.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
I saw it at the cinema.
Those were the days, weren't they?
Those were the days.
Can I ask 2 questions without hogging too much?
Yeah. I'm just having my nipple licked by George. Hang on. This is.
Let's not interrupt him.
You don't? Here we go. Just having a little.
Let's have that both enjoy.
A little suckle. What are you doing? What's on there?
Oh, bless that.
Did I get some dinner on there? You are such a weird cat. Yes, of course you can ask me. Go on.
Yeah,
look
number one.
Hang on a second. Just look. Is that as sunny as it looks, Gemma? It's hard to tell, but it looks gorgeous out there.
It's cloudy.
Is it cloudy? All right. It still looks good. Go on, Richard. Yes.
Yeah, just in terms of, like, the Beatles and the Beach Boys, that type of, 60s, 70s music, how did you get into that on the basis that I was, strutting around nightclubs listening to trashy electro pop when you were no doubt becoming a scholar on that stuff?
How did I get into it? I was always into the Monkees because they used to show it in the summer holidays and I always loved it. And then I forgot about them. And then when I was about 13, my friend Robert Thompson was singing the Monkees theme as he came up the stairs, and he was cool. And I went, "Well, you're singing the Monkees?" He said, "Yeah, they're great." And so I just kind of got into them through that, really. And then my sister loved the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
So,
were you keeping up to date with the music of the time as well, or were you
no, I
going
hated
backwards more? Yeah,
I hated it.
That's interesting.
Stop that, please, mate.
Oh,
No, I hated
sweet
it.
that.
I hated it. I like Jason Donovan. I had terrible taste in music. I liked Jason Donovan in the 80s.
He was good.
He was quite good.
Yeah,
Saw him
but
live.
Mhm.
Where did you see him live?
In Brighton. I
Oh.
was about 7, maybe.
Were there loads of people with whistles there?
Lots of people with scarves.
Okay. I probably saw him. I saw him in Hammersmith Odeon Apollo, whatever it was then. Where he came out on a skateboard at the start of the concert. That's what I remember. It was me and it was me and a girl, and we weren't dating or anything. And I was about 16, and the rest were these, 10, 11, 12-year-old girls screaming. It was great.
He made up the ground quite well, didn't he? From Kylie Minogue, obviously, screaming ahead of him because he wasn't doing much, was he, for a bit? And then he kind of caught up and.
Well.
So
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know is the answer to that. But I never really dug kind of the music that was going on around me. So that's why. That's why. Question number 2, Richard Gregorian.
And how about the therapy course? What are you studying in? What's the kind of application? Is it kind of more counselling or psychoanalytical or
It's integrative counselling, which means it's a mixture of humanist, existentialist, and Gestalt. Don't ask me to tell you what those things are because I don't quite know yet. And it's a 2-year diploma, which means at the end of it, I guess I'll be qualified to kind of do basic counselling. I then have to do another exam external from the college to become part of the BACP, which is the biggest.
Is that the one that's regulating?
Body.
Yeah.
And it's mainly experiential. So we're kind of doing a lot of talking about. There's some theory. and there's some, you know, reading of books and learning about, you know, people like Carl Rogers and stuff like that. But it's mainly practical.
So it's quite interactive in getting people to assess their belief systems rather than just listening, counselling. Yeah.
But the key seems to be just keeping quiet. That's the thing I struggle with. Is, you know, in the practice, someone says they got a problem, and I'm thinking, I know what you should do. I know the answer, and you have to go, okay, and why do you feel like that about it? Instead of going, tell him to get lost.
Yeah,
that's what you need to. Obviously, he's an idiot. Why do you feel that way about him? Is the thing. So I'm enjoying it. My second week, I'm enjoying it a lot more than after my first week.
The car's been fixed now. Got the car
has been fixed. At great expense. And I don't know if I'm going to do this as a career. You know, when I was all gung-ho about it, it was, I'm going to do this as a career. And George, let go of that headphone. Jesus, what's wrong with you? But now everything's so uncertain. I don't know if it's going to be a career or if it's going to be part of this. I'm not enjoying, you know, showbiz, for want of a better word. I'm enjoying doing the show with Catherine a lot because I love working with Catherine because I adore her and she's the best. But I don't know what I've lost sight of what the point of the show is. You know, when I was at Talk, the point of the show was to get more listeners and to get your contract renewed and to make it better so you'd get more listeners and get your contract renewed in that circle. And I don't know what the point of the show is anymore. You know, I don't know what the point of it is. And I'm enjoying it, but I'm seeing the numbers go down a little bit. And that's my constant kind of, you know, worry. And it's still, because I'm old fashioned, it still doesn't feel like a proper job, if that makes sense. Because I'm an old man, you know, and so I struggle to completely relax and understand that this is a legitimate job. You know, it kind of feels like playing to me.
On the basis you're not going somewhere to go and work.
Partly,
building.
More on the basis that it's me and Catherine that are our bosses, and that it is not, you know, although Twitch are supporting us and are paying us kind of, you know, like a stipend. It's a bit more than a stipend actually, but that we are not employed by the BBC or by News Corp or, you know, it just, and I'm also painfully aware that we're an experiment for Twitch and they're kind of watching us and taking notes and rubbing their chins, and I don't know.
But I suspect the purpose must be that, you know, to after a year or however long it goes on for us to say, well, if we couldn't have done it, then no one can do it. On the basis you've tried everything, you've done the talk bit. You know, I know that people are catching up with that now, and a few are doing talk shows, but they won't have the breadth of what you guys can do. You know, for the very serious and very sublime.
I enjoyed the meeting yesterday, the production meeting, for those that weren't there, because some really good ideas have come up, and I do worry that we're just presenting two people just sat there talking, and that's it, and that maybe on Twitch and online and with visuals, maybe you need more than that. And I can't really do more than that, you know, can't really do much more than what we're doing.
You're underselling what you're doing there, though, because I know it's sort of licorice all sorts. We never know what we're going to get, other than we know on a Thursday it's going to be a quiz, and we know on a Friday we're going to try and watch Changing Rooms if we've got one. But you're always coming up with a clip that's out of nowhere. Like when you started watching those videos of Monkey and then singing something. That's the beauty of the show, that it just goes off somewhere, you know, and those little clunky gear changes.
I feel it's harder to go off. Sorry to interrupt. I feel it's harder to go off in this box than it is on the radio for some reason. And maybe it's because I've been doing radio for 16, 17 years and I know how it works. It just feels a little bit, it's partly the box, it's partly the fact that me and Kath are sat next to each other as opposed to opposite each other when we've got more eye contact and a bit more physical room, so we're physically cramped. I don't know. I mean, I think it's good what we're doing. I don't think it's rubbish. I don't think it's as good as the radio show yet. I wish we could get more callers. I don't quite know how we go about doing that. So I don't know.
I mean, I haven't watched Keith and the Girl for, you know, for moons or whatever, but would it work if you were kind of across the desk? Because if that was a studio with cameras above looking down and it being a bit more kind of, you know, 3D rather than just looking at a screen, is that not a bit close to what you were doing at Talk?
Would it work like that? It might do.
because I'm looking at a screen now and you're looking at a screen, it does come across. It is as good as a radio show, I think, but I can understand that you might think, well, is that it, that I'm looking at a screen? But I wonder whether or not, you've got those sort of Keith the Girl and was it Night Stalker on TV, where it's all a bit more kind of visual, isn't it, around the corners? Night Stalker, Night Talker, yeah. Because it is a show, isn't it? So it's going to be difficult to just be looking at a screen.
Maybe there is something in that. Maybe there is something in that.
I think it's also, there's no obvious limitations, is there?
No.
So it's kind of, you don't really know to push, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Radio, I know what the limitations are and where the edges are. And with this, I don't know what it is. And then, we go and raid these wonderful people and they're all 20 years younger than us. And they're doing this fucking amazing stuff with effects and green screen and all of that. And I'm thinking, Jesus, maybe we're meant to be, and we are going to do a bit of green screen. That was one of Gemma's suggestions, and we're gonna do that. But I look at them and go, maybe we're meant to be doing that. Maybe that's what people.
They don't have the depth, though, do they? They haven't got the depth. I mean, even that, I won't mention his name because he's a good guy, but even that particular thing, that guy, which I think you probably know what I'm talking about, it's still a bit of a one-trick pony as such.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't have the breadth of 15 hours a week. It isn't boring.
Well, some of it is a little bit boring. I'll be honest. I don't know. I'm not getting down about it. I'm just honestly kind of scratching my head going, I don't know what it is, but I am disillusioned with the industry. I wrote to several local BBC radio stations, BBC Oxford and Berkshire, where I've worked at BBC Berkshire, saying, I'll come in and work for you really cheap and doing some cover shifts. And they didn't even reply. And you kind of think, wow, okay, that's where I am at the moment. All right. That's my standing at the moment. I'll bear that in mind. So the dream would be to get out of it because it's hard work. The thing I really struggle with as well, one of the things, is that whole thing of just constantly tweeting and updating your Facebook. So, hey guys, don't forget tonight at 9 we're doing this, and then the next day, guys, tonight at 9, and then the next day, hey, at 9 o'clock tonight we're doing this, and it's constantly.
You doing that manually then?
Yeah.
We need to get TweetDeck or Hootsuite or something, and sit down, spend an hour, write them all, and then they all go out timed.
Do they?
Yeah, you build what what you're going to do for the next week or whatever, and then you only have to switch it off if your plans change. All
right, I'm going to put that down. That's an excellent suggestion. I don't like selling myself, and I'm aware that me and Catherine are having to do a lot of selling in terms of that, but that makes it a lot easier, Jim. So I'll have a look at that. Thank you. And in terms of selling the merch, and then during the show, it's like, and don't forget, guys, you can support us by, and I just want to get on and do it, But it's all right. It's good. It's going well, but
it's a different form of insecurity, isn't it? Though it's an insecurity amongst the people. I mean, there's no one else that's got a following. No one else that could attract sponsors in the industry, in my view. I personally, I've come from a corporate environment. It would be a complete nightmare for me to go back into that. I know I don't belong. I know that I don't want to do it. I don't think the fact you can't get a gig is a bad thing. It's just the fact that you're different. You're almost better than that. They haven't put any thought into that kind of establishment to think, okay, we're going to choose not to have him. You've just got a different product. It's a bit like the barristers I work with. They've always been self-employed. When I was being employed, they're always making money. Being self-employed, just a one-man band. Well, works for them.
It's state of the world, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
Everything is covered with this grey, weird cloud of COVID that just, makes everything screwy. I have finished my dinner, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if anybody has any burning desires, anything else they want to say before I go back and watch a film starring Mark Wahlberg and The Rock about wrestlers.
No, just thank you very much indeed.
Shut your face, Gregorian. I wasn't talking to you, you piece of trash.
Yeah, it's been a hard time for everyone recently, myself included in that. And guys, it's been nice to hear you.
Nice one. Well, I hope you're all doing as okay. It's always lovely to see you, Gemma and Jim and Jenna and everybody and Sam and Chris. But I hope you're all doing as. Who's that? You coming up, George? As well as you can in this weirdness. And I know Catherine and I really appreciate the support, genuinely. And it's hard sometimes to be sincere, because every time I remember, what was it I was doing once? I was being sincere. And everyone just started going, well, why are you taking the piss? I said, I'm not taking the piss. I'm genuinely expressing sincerity. But people don't expect it from me. But we are really, really grateful for your support. And thank you. And I hope everything is as good and as safe as it can be during these weird times.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. It's so nice to see you. If you want to come
Listen
to the
tomorrow.
lunch on Tuesday, you'd be very, very welcome. Otherwise, we will see you Monday night at 9 o'clock.
Thanks a lot, Ian.
Bye.
Stay safe, everyone.
Yeah,
Take care.
man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.